Thriveys. Okay, so I know I call you Thrivesters. Did you know I also call you Thriveys? That's the super double nickname. How is everybody? I am coming in quick, hot and dirty, or quick and hot, or quick and dirty. I don't know. I'm sure people will have a field day with that one. Um, I want to come in here and talk to you about three words that will ruin your holiday season. And the reason why I'm being so dramatic is because, and when I talk about things like three words that will ruin your holiday season, I'm really talking about my holiday season. And because you're a member of the Thrive Hive and because you listen, I know that many times what I'm thinking or feeling, you're thinking or feeling. So here's the point. The point is this. Back in October, I was pulling together the content for the weekly buzz. That reminds me, if you are not a member of the Thrive Hive community, if you have not signed up for the weekly buzz, you're going to want to do that. It is once a week. I send out an email. I send it out on Fridays. Hopefully everybody's in a chill vibe on a Friday. I do that on purpose. And I only send it out once a week. Not a lot of selling, a lot of coaching, actually, and thoughts and tactics and takeaways and ideas and all of the things. Back to my point, it was October and I was sending out the content for the weekly buzzer. I was pulling it together and I thought about overcommitting and how that is something that I do all the time. And how when I do it over the holidays, there's no coming back. Like you don't get a redo. If it's a Wednesday night, you get a redo. You get a Wednesday night the next week. The holidays, it's such a great time of year. And if you blow it, or if I blow it, then I blow it. I have to wait a whole nother year. And I found myself recently doing the same thing. So let me back up. Let me give you the whole story. Several weeks ago, I was invited to a dinner party. And I was like, do I want to go to this dinner party? Yeah, I kind of do. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Sure. So I said, sure. And the day came upon us. It was way ahead of time. So it was a few weeks ahead of time. And the day came upon us. And the mental gymnastics that I went through on that day, first of all, I was like, okay, should I cancel? Because I had overcommitted again. Should I cancel? Should I not cancel? If I cancel, what time? Why don't I make the call at 12? I'll make the call at 2. This is the call as to whether or not I was going to go. What if Danny really wants to go? Will Danny be mad? Will they be mad? Will I ever get invited there again? I mean, this was like hours and hours and hours over this one time that I said, sure, when what I probably wanted to say was, this is a little far out for me. If it's okay with you, can I confirm a little closer out? I tend to overcommit and I want to make sure that I'm going to be here or I'm going to make sure, whatever. I mean, you can't say, I want to make sure I really want to go. I mean, obviously, you can't do that. Anyway, so by the time I actually, the Reader's Digest version now is I went and I had a great time and it was wonderful. By the time I had done that, I was like, I'd spent so much emotional energy on this when all I had to do was be careful about what I said in the first place. So then, uh, a couple of days ago, I did it again. So let me back up and give you what these three words are that you're saying. Three words that you're probably saying that really could send you down a pretty unfortunate rabbit hole. The first one is the word should. First of all, we don't use that word around my house. We don't use the word should. I don't like it. It is a bad word. With should comes shame. I think I've already talked about this maybe. Comes shame and blame. And I should go to the gym. I should call this person. I should blah, blah, blah. Couple of things. First of all, who's to say what you should and should not be doing? And if the should is coming from you and you think you should and you want to, okay, maybe. But who's to say what you should and shouldn't do? And so, for example, let's say strength training. I should strength train more often. And if I end every day with saying, gosh, Nancy, you should have strength trained today, should have lifted weights today. I really should lift weights today. I should make sure I lift weights tomorrow. And then I don't, I'm beating myself up. And I'm beating myself up. Yes, I should. It is statistically proven that if I do this, my metabolism will increase, my bones will get stronger, I'll probably live longer, who knows? So this is not up for debate. What is up for debate is it takes the power away from me. And instead of saying I should, perhaps I can say, um, I really want to make sure I weight train this morning. So I'm going to put off something else. Or let's see. I mean, I choose, if that's a word that you would regularly use. I like want. I want to instead of should. I want to. I want to make sure I lift weights today. So I'm going to make that a priority. That's different than I should lift weights. So I want you to be mindful of how many times you're saying the word should. And then over the next 8 weeks, you do not have the same emotional, energetic bandwidth, time, energy that you usually have. Let's be careful with the shoulds. The second word, and this is the one I'm going to come back to again, is sure. This word sounds pretty harmless. It's only 4 letters. It's a nice word. Sure, sure. Or as Ray Donovan says, sure. And if you're from Boston, I know you can feel me on that one. So I like sure if you're sure. And what happens with me is I say sure or I say yes to something, thinking that I am and I behave and my life is something that it is not. So I will say, sure, if somebody invites me, this dinner is a great case in point. The other day, I was really tired and needed to charge my emotional battery. I knew I had zero energy left. I hadn't seen a friend in a long time. She asked if I wanted to go out. I said, sure. And I should not have done that. Oh, I just used should. I'm glad I did. And at the same time, it set me back. When you are at your limit, and when you say yes or sure to something, when you're at your limit, you're just setting yourself up for bad feelings, bad things. This took me a day to recover. I know myself. And instead of saying sure, I could have said, you know what? Let me just check my calendar. Or, you know what? I want to say yes. Give me an hour and I'll get back to you. Or let me think about it. Some variation of that. I mean, obviously, if someone is inviting you out, you don't want to say, let me think about it. You could say something like, I want to make sure I have enough time to do that and meet all my other demands. Can I get back to you like in an hour or two? Or can I get back to you tomorrow? Whatever the case. So you're buying yourself time. And you're buying yourself time to make a decision from a place of being grounded and not being caught up in the moment. Grounded and realistic. That's what we want. And it is amazing how quickly the sense of urgency dissipates or goes away if you can give yourself some time to decide. And I want to make sure I don't sound like I'm being like a recluse or I'm just not available or like I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we want to say yes to everything because everything is fun, especially around the holidays. We can't. We can't. Or if we do, we end up burnt out and rushing through the things that are supposed to give us joy. Like I said, I'm a great example. If I say yes to this, then I can't, then I'm rushing through something else that should be giving me joy. So that's word number 2. The final word is, can I get a drum roll? Thrivesters, I'd like a drum roll. Is sorry when it's not an apology. I'm not talking about a sincere apology. And if you read the book, Unmute Yourself and Speak Up to Stand Out, it's available on Amazon. It's a great communication handbook for women. Sorry is one of the words I say to eliminate from your vocabulary, except in the case when you're really apologizing. Like if I was rude to my husband or my family or a friend, of course I'm going to say, I'm sorry for my behavior. That was really inappropriate. And I want you to know that I regret what I said. That's different. I'm talking about, I'm so sorry to ask this question, or I'm sorry for saying no, or I'm sorry for bringing this up, but like if you're going to say I'm sorry, but get rid of the sorry, particularly when you're setting a boundary and particularly when it is around the holiday season. I'm sorry I can't make it. You probably are sorry you can't make it. If you start with I'm sorry I can't come to your party, I think you're kind of you're apologizing for something that you don't necessarily need to apologize for. It sounds like a great event. I can't make it, and I'd love to send you some of my signature ginger cookies instead, or whatever. I think when you preface a boundary with "I'm sorry," you are chipping away at your own authority. You're apologizing for what you're about to say. That's different than a real apology. And I hope that makes sense. I'm talking about like the reflex apology. Oh, so sorry, I can't make it. I mean, okay, are you though? Like I said, it chips away at your purchase, if you will, and it kind of, in my opinion, it belittles our own needs. It makes our own needs come second. I'm sorry, I'm putting my needs first. No, we're not. So, but and you can turn down or you can apologize for something without it negating your point or your boundary. It could be, thank you so much for understanding. This is a really difficult time of year in terms of commitments. I'd love to come. I simply can't make it. Or thank you so much for the invitation. I can't make it. How about if I send over some of my signature homemade Baileys, which Thrivesters is a thing, by the way. So those are the three words that will kind of derail your holidays, and especially when you use these words with yourself. No bueno. No bueno. But I want to get back to the second story, which is so I pulled together this whole newsletter, this whole weekly buzz about um, not saying sure, and then I said sure, and this is a pattern that is years and years and years and years and years. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I am going to take it as a learning opportunity and remember that because of that one sure where I knew I didn't want to, and I knew, it's not that I didn't want to. I knew that I was overcommitting and I knew that it was not going to end well. I lost the entire next day. That one commitment morphed into a whole long thing. I didn't get good sleep. Because I didn't get good sleep, the next day I was tired. I was socially burned out. My battery needed recharging. I could not talk to anyone. And this is not the time of year to be doing that. So we don't have the luxury of that this time of year. So all of this is to say, yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it. These are three words that I really feel strongly that we should not be saying this holiday season. Whoops. Because if there's one thing that I am laser focused on for the next 8 weeks, it is that I am going to enjoy the heck out of this holiday season. All of it. All of it. My office looks like Santa's workshop. Not going to lie. If you could see this right now, it's actually a little unsettling how much holiday stuff is here. I love this time of year. It only comes once. We all love it. Well, many of us love it. And I want to make sure that I'm not rushing through it like I do every single year. So those are three words that I'm going to eliminate: should, sure, and sorry. I even did an alliteration for you. What else do I have? What else do I have? Oh, the Thrive Holiday Guide. Sign up for that if you haven't signed up for that yet. Just I think there'll be a link to the sign up form in the show notes. And if you're up for it, let me know which of those words you use the most, or which of those words are you going to remove from your vocabulary over the next 8 weeks. Hit me up on Insta, do a screenshot, tag me, send me an email. If you have a friend who overcommits during the holidays, this is a great episode to send to them. And until then, we are 2 weeks away from one of my favorite holidays. We're a little more than 2 weeks. We're 3 weeks away. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So go into the next several weeks knowing that you get to control and you get to protect your peace. So with that, Thrivesters, peace out, and now go thrive like you mean it.